Hello and welcome back, everybody, to a new live stream. So it is Wednesday, the 5th of June. And of course, today we will go through the Bitcoin technical analysis as we always do. Take a look at a trade that I am in. I have literally just entered into a short trade, so we will talk about that. And we will also talk about future price levels that I'm interested in trading as well. Of course. We will talk about all of that today. So if that sounds interesting, make sure you smash that thumbs up button. Would really appreciate it. Helps me out, helps the channel out, and I can continue to bring this content for you, or to you, sorry. And if you haven't subscribed already, make sure you subscribe and turn the bell notification on so you never ever miss another upload. Enough of that. Let's jump into the charts and see what is going on. So I have literally just entered into a short trade before the live stream started. Told the team here, took a scalp short. This is just like a very basic trade, right? We've started to form a range here. Okay, so we're forming some range bound price action here, and we have now formed a failed auction of that range high, right? So it's just a very simple setup of the failed auction. Okay, and I understand that we have like 26 million. What did I tell the team here? In the end, we closed with 26 million new long trades. Okay, 26 million new long trades, and there were a lot of these long trades coming in at the high of the candle. Okay, so we'll take a look at this on XO charts, right? If we zoom into this candle, we can see 26 million new long trades. Okay, we can see, visibly 150k at the top, almost 500k there, 7.5 million there, 500k there, 8.7 million there, 6.3 million there, 3.9 million. There's a lot of longing at the highs of the high of this candle. So for me, looking at this, right, forming that failed auction, I understand, okay, if price is going to start pulling back here, then a lot of these long trades are probably going to have to cover. Obviously, they have to sell back into the market if they do cover, meaning that it adds fuel to the fire, pushing that price lower. Okay, so it's just a very simple setup here, and I'm kind of just targeting like mid-range really, as that TP1, of course. And then if we do lose mid-range, I will be looking for range low down here. So it's just very simple trade that I'm looking for, and I'm possibly just looking for like range bound price action to happen here. Okay, because we've had a really strong impulsive move up. Okay, so it is if we do see range bound price action here, okay, it is understandable. And then if we do come down to range low, of course, I would be looking for a long trade down here to take this back up to range high, right? So that's kind of what my plan is, and that's what my thesis is behind entering into this short trade here. Okay, I'm just sort of looking for that range bound price action. Okay, and do exactly what we did last week, okay, which was just literally trade the range until the range breaks. Okay, so looking at this, I'm just thinking, okay, right, of course, right, this is a bit of an aggressive entry from me. Okay, it is a bit of an aggressive entry, but I understand that my risk management is good, right? I have my stop loss above the high here. If I do get stopped out of the trade, it's not going to bother me at all. Okay, but yeah, I'm just looking for that mid range here really, and then possibly range low. This is like a scalp trade as well, so I have entered into this trade with lower capital than I usually do anyway, because it is a scalp trade. But initially, right, 26 million new long trades coming in is very bullish, right? But it can change, it can become very bearish at the same time as well if we start to see price pulling back again, if we start to see these long trades underwater. Because if they are underwater, we understand that these longs are going to be scared, and they're probably most likely going to sell back into the market, pushing the price lower, adding fuel to the fire, right? So that's kind of what I'm looking at really. So yeah, I've just entered into this trade. We'll see how it plays out, right? If it does come down to range low, great, and then I can look for a long trade there because initially, right, and as you can tell from the title and the thumbnail, I am kind of looking for all-time high here. For me, what I was telling the team this morning in the daily market update is that my most preferred trade setup at this moment in time is actually a short trade from all-time high. That is for me just the most preferred short trade. And of course, we will talk about that as well on why I think that. I did previously take a short trade from. Let's just get rid of this for a second and zoom out. So I did actually take a short trade off of the basis. Right, let's bring the MPOCs up again. Down here. Okay, so I actually did attempt to short this right here. Okay, I attempted to short this. So, I've understood that, we formed a swing failure pattern of these series of highs here. Okay, in confluence with this naked point of control, we took out that naked point of control at $70,975. For me, this was, a valid short trade, right? And unfortunately, that short trade did get stopped out. Took a bit of a loss there. Okay, that's fine. Remember, last week was an amazing week. So I'm really not stressing about taking a loss here and there because I understand that last week was a really, really good week. I took full advantage of that range that we were trading within last week, and I was kind of expecting to come across a loss at some point because, again, last week, I had a 100% success rate last week, so I kind of was expecting to come into a losing trade. And here, it was an acceptable short trade for me. It was an acceptable short trade. I took it. Okay, and we did start to see a bit of a pullback, but then we did see price rise. And after this, I've sort of looked at what the market is kind of doing at the moment, and I'm kind of just thinking to myself, right, okay, yes, I do have levels that I'm interested in trading, i.e. $72,000. Okay, I'm looking to possibly short $72,000, but I understand now that this was a fairly high probability trade, and we did see that get stopped out. So now I'm sort of like shifting my thesis here and thinking more that, okay, maybe we will come straight to all-time high. We're very close to that all-time high. So there is a high possibility that we could just see a quick move to all-time high. I understand that, right? And that's where, looking at the chart here, I understand that I have this the highest probability trade setup from all-time high. I was talking through with the team this morning as well about this. Okay, we have, of course, this range on the 8 hour. And remember, we previously, if you were a part of the, if you're one of the visionary members and you were a visionary member back here, you will know, okay, that we took some amazing trades here on the 8 hour time frame. We were trading this 8 hour time frame, and it was just absolutely amazing, right? We were taking a long trade. We took a long trade from here, short trade from here, long trade from down here. We shorted this here, long to this here. There was just, even shorted that all top. There was just some amazing trades to be had there. And, we can now actually look to start trading this 8 hour again, right? Because The most recent trade that we had on this 8 hour chart was, of course, the failed auction from range low. Of course, I longed this. You know, this has been a really, really profitable long trade. I have now closed the majority, or I'm pretty sure all that long trade is completely closed now. I'm pretty sure it is completely closed, to be honest with you. But yeah, again, you know, we're looking at this now as we're looking at this 8 hour chart now, and we can think, okay, right, this is tradable again because we're getting close to a key level, right? I'm not going to take a trade from mid-range, viewing this 8 hour time frame, right? I would be waiting for range high for a possible trade, which would only ever be a short trade, right? It would only ever be a short trade. I would never look to take a long trade up here. So yeah, for me, this is looking like a really high probability trade, okay? Because we do have range high, right? Range high at the top of the 8 hour channel. Okay, and if we're seeing some sort of swing value pattern, some sort of failed auction of this high, I would be inclined to short this. I would be very, very happy to enter into a short trade because, again, pulling up the MPOCs, we have a major naked point of control, daily naked point of control at 73,475, right? So we have range high, we have all time high, and we have a naked point of control. Of course, I'm not going to set a limit order here and just short this. No, I'm going to wait for some confirmation, such as a swing value pattern, a failed auction, and you know, I will trade off of that reaction. Okay, I will trade off of that reaction. So for me, that is the next highest probability trade, okay, from up here. So you know, I'm not really, I know I understand we have levels at 72,000. I understand we have a level at 73,500. Just not really that interested in trading it now. Just because I feel as though we're going to see all time high. I do feel as though we're going to see all time high, and I understand that from all time high, that is where the highest probability short trade is. Okay, or just the highest probability trade in general. Okay, and this is where I can enter into a trade. If we do get the setup, of course, this is where I can enter into a trade with my full size. Okay, because recently I haven't even been entering into trades with the usual amount of capital that I would put into a trade because, you know, first of all, we're trading on lower time frames, but you know, second of all as well, it's just not been the best price action here, right? Last week was great, I understand that, but again, it's like lower time frame, so I am entering in with lower capital than usual. But you know, when I get a big swing trade like this, because this is of course like a swing trade setup, we're expecting a big pullback here down to possibly $66,400. Okay, of course, if we get the short trade setup, and that's only if we get the short trade setup, because we may not get the short trade setup here. We may smash through the level, and we may see 75,000, possibly even $80,000 as well. Okay. So, of course, it's not set in stone that if we come and hit this level, we're coming down to the mid range. No, of course, I need to see everything aligning. Okay, I need to see all the bearish confirmation, bearish confluence, bearish reaction to take the short. And then I initially, again, would be targeting like 66,000, yeah, $400-$500. Okay, if we lose that mid range, then I'm kind of looking for like, yeah, 59,000, possibly even 56,000, right? All the way down here. You can see that this mid range has acted as some really nice like support and resistance previously, as you can very clearly see here. Resistance, you know, all support along here. So yeah, if we do see price come up, we get the short set up, and we do come to mid range. That, of course, for me is a TP1. If we do lose that, then I'm looking for range low. Okay, very, very simple. So for me, that is the highest probability trade setup that I see at this moment in time. And I just feel as though shorting at 72,000, even if I see a setup, or even shorting from $73,000 as well, for me, it's just not the highest probability trade setup. The highest probability setup that I see from now is that all time high, right? So I'm kind of just waiting for that, really. That is kind of what I'm just really waiting for. Of course, if I see a trade on the lower time frame like I have now, then you know I will take it, right? I have taken this short trade. Again, it's a scalp trade. I've entered into this trade with lower capital. You know, I'm not too I'm not too fussed whatsoever if I do get stopped out of this trade because I know it's just going to be a very minimal loss. And of course, this is as I always say, like implementing good risk management. I understand that, but yeah, I'm just sort of like interested, right? Because if we do start to form range bound price action here, and I am kind of expecting all time high, then I'm just thinking to myself, okay, it's going to give me another opportunity to to like get into another long trade or add to my long trade, right? Because I am still currently long. Let's have a look. So I am still currently long from $67,200. Of course, that was the range low of the range from last week. So on my main account, on my larger account, I have closed that trade completely. But a lot of the time I do have a smaller account as well where I'll take the trade on that account as well, and I won't take TPs, and that will be more of like a hedge just in case we do get a break. So that's what this trade is, and I still have over like 60% of that trade open. I did tell the team here that I closed a little bit of that trade. I think, yeah, I remember taking some TP off of that. But yeah, I took a slight TP on that long. It was about 40% that I took off of that trade. So yeah, I am still long, and I am still happy to be long, and happy to continue to see a rise, and I can still take advantage of that, of course. But yeah, it would be nice, of course, if we start to form range bound price action here, because of course, I can take advantage of this pullback as I'm now in a short. I can take advantage of another long trade, right? Of course, because I could be looking for a long trade at range low. So this is sort of what I'm anticipating, right? Price to start to range here, and then of course I can trade that range, and yeah, we'll see how that goes on. Really, let's take a look at the chat quickly. Ready? Good to see you here. Hello, mate. How are you doing? It's good to see you back. Um, Anything else? No. So yeah, yeah, I'm just going to see how this short trade plays out, really. So, going back to here, right, when I didn't take the short trade from here. So remember last week I was saying, right, I'm just going to continue to trade this range until it breaks, right? We did come up to range high here. There was a possible short trade. I didn't take it. I didn't like it. And as you can see, that was the correct decision to not enter into the short trade there. And, a big reason for this is because we started to build lots of value here. This is very bullish, right? We were building value above the value area high. We were about building value above the range high. And, we've also built a lot of value above the VWAP from 72,000. So, looking at this, it's really quite bullish in my eyes now, because we've struggled to get above this VWAP for a very, very long time. Ever since this not all time high, this $72,000 Bitcoin on the 21st of May. Okay, we were just rejecting. Even when we got a deviation from it, we used it as support as well. Got a bounce. Okay, we lost it, moved down. Okay, we've really struggled, but now that we've built some value above it, okay, and we've had a nice, strong, impulsive move, away from it. This is really, really good, right? And I'm kind of not really that interested in this VWAP anymore, to be honest with you. Of course, if we do come back down to it, it could still act as a major level of support. I will be aware of it, but now I understand that we're quite far away from it. I think, yeah, we are the furthest we've ever been away from this VWAP. So for me, it's just kind of looking for that 72. If we break the 72, then we can look for 73, because of course we've got a level at $73,000. And if we can just get above that, then I'm looking for all-time high, really. And then that's where I look for that bigger short trade, of course, if I see the setup there. But it's just, just all about patience, right? It's just all about patience here. For me, this is very bullish. I know that I was telling the team. I don't know if I spoke about this. I probably did speak about this on the live stream, but in the daily market update, I was talking to the team about this and saying, this is very bullish. We can expect a big rise up here. We're building value above the value area high, above the VWAP, above the range high. It's very, very bullish. Okay, I was using this as an example. Let's just pull the fixed range quick. When we're building value above a level, it is very bullish, okay? Or if we're building value below a level, it's very bearish, okay? And you can see here, right, in this range, initially, right, we can see that, is it going to load? There we go. Right, we spent a very short amount of time above that value area high. They were very quick moves, and same with the value area low. Okay, they were kind of just quick moves. We didn't spend much time there. The majority of the volume, the majority of the time, where price spent, okay, was actually in between the value area high and the value area low, right? The majority of the time we were in between those two levels, right? Then we did get the slight deviations above them, of course, but we didn't spend that much time. But then when we came above it here, we spent a lot of time above that value area high, right? A lot of time above it. Okay, this is building value. Okay, this is building volume here. This is very bullish. Okay, and again, like I was telling the team in the daily market updates, and I probably said it on the stream here as well, this is bullish. We can actually expect higher prices from here, and that's what exactly what has happened. Of course, we've had we've had levels tapped to the upside that I was interested in shorting. I took the short. It didn't go my way, and again, right, I've taken a short here. This is more of a scalp short, so I'm not really, this trade I've entered into lower capital than even the previous short trade that I entered into. Okay, so this is just a very low capital trade because it is, again, a scalp trade, right? Scalp trades I do always enter in with much lower capital. But yeah, my biggest trade that I'm looking for, of course, is the all-time high, right? A possible short from all-time high. If I get the setup, then that's where I enter into that big trade, right? I haven't entered into a big trade ever since. With, when I say a big trade, like regular capital, right? Ever since this failed auction of the low here, that was the last time I entered into a trade with regular capital. All the trades here have been entered with pretty much much lower capital, just because the probabilities, right? The probabilities are kind of less here because you're looking at them on smaller time frames. Okay, here for me this was just a very high probability trade, like with this one here, very high probability, like this one here, very high probability. I think there was short from here, very high probability as well. Long from here, very high probability. Okay, so yeah, those were the trades that I were entering into with usual capital. So yeah, if we can get to all-time high, I can enter into a big trade again, and look for those big wins. But yeah, right now it's just, for me, it's the time to be a little bit more aware of the risk. Okay, aware of there is a little bit more risk in the market at the moment because we're not at any kind of major level. Okay, on like the 8-hour time frame here, this is where I zoom out and I look. Okay, and I see, okay, this is the nicest. How I determine, okay, what price, what time frame I trade. Okay, the way I determine it is by just looking at each time frame and seeing what looks the best. Okay, what looks kind of like the prettiest. And what we can very clearly see here is that this is just very pretty, very simple price action. Nothing really choppy at all. Okay, of course here, it gets a little bit choppy, a little bit confined, a little bit constricted, but the rest of it is quite nice price action. Okay, and I can just very clearly see here that we have this range. Okay, and this is just a very, very simple range that I can be trading. Okay, and of course I have been trading it. We front run levels a lot of the time here, which is of course why I have been aware of that. Okay, I did short this. I did long that. I did long this here, even though we didn't come down to the range low. But then we finally came down to the range low. Okay, like I was expecting, really. And we got a really nice long trade set up from there. And as you can see, this has been a really, really nice long trade. Okay, a really nice long trade. So again, I see this. This is pretty. This is nice. This is simple. Okay, this is something that I can easily trade with confidence. Okay, so I'm waiting for that range high. Okay, I'm waiting for that range high for the highest probability short trade setup. Of course, right? from if you're like a if I stuck to just literally swing trading, right? I would not be I would not have entered into any trades here whatsoever, okay? Because I would have just have been looking at this and I would have, yeah, my last trade would have been from the 1st of May, okay? That would have been the last trade that I would have been in. This is where I like to, zoom in a little bit sometimes. And then, I do take day trades. Initially, I do much prefer the swing trades, but then I do understand that when I'm just swing trading, okay, there is not many trades whatsoever. As you can see, this was the 1st of May. Actually, no, it was the 2nd of May when I entered into the trade. Yeah, it was the 2nd of May when I entered into the trade. Um, so yeah, it's been quite a long time since I entered into like a big swing trade, right? So this is why I like to zoom into the lower time frames sometimes, and if it's looking nice, I will take a day trade. But I understand that the highest probability trade setups are going to be these swing trades. In my case, anyway. Okay, it may be different for other people, but in my case, my highest probability trade setups, the trades that I profit off of the most are the swing trades. Okay, so yeah, it's really nice that we are getting ever so close to a big swing trade level, because again, in here there haven't been any big swing trade levels, right? No big swing trade levels, just day trades in here. So yeah, I'm excited to see what happens to price up here. If we do get the short setup again, I will always take it. Do you check 8-hour closes in order flow? Not necessarily. I don't really look at order flow on the 8-hour time frames. I kind of look at it on the lower time frames, even though I'm charting on an 8-hour. So yeah, I mean, let's have a look at the. Yeah, to be honest, like when I enter into trades on the 8-hour, I don't really look at order flow on the 8-hour. I will actually look at order flow on like the 1 hour. I kind of don't use order flow on the higher time frames. Like the 4 is kind of the max that I use it. I don't ever really use it on the 8-hour unless, right, and I can't do it on the web chart, right, because it doesn't really, yeah, it doesn't really go far enough back. But I do like to look at the open interest on like a larger time frame. So of course we have the 8-hour here. We can see that this move up from the long trade that we had down here at range low on the 2nd of May, right, has been a really nice rise towards the upside. You can see we have new participants entering into the market, right, and yeah, price is of course rising. So for me, this is like a healthy rise towards the upside. So yeah, that's kind of how I look at the order flow, right? On the larger time frames, I don't really look at the candles. I'm on a tiny tick size here. Let's go 50 then. But yeah, so again, I just kind of look at it on the lower time frames. That's how I prefer to look at it, to be honest. Let's see how this trade is coming along. This one here. Yeah, so I am in a slight loss with it as of right now. I did enter into this trade a little bit aggressively, but yeah, I'm kind of just anticipating this to range. Right, we'll see what happens. Right, if price does move down here, I would expect all of these long trades here to have to cover, adding fuel to the fire, pushing that price lower. So that's kind of what I'm anticipating, right? That's kind of what I'm looking for here in this trade, and then again, possibly from range low, I can look for that long trade. Let's just check. Yeah, we have the weekly VWAP, which is of course coming in confluence with that range low. So again, if we did see price coming down to range low, I would really like a long trade from there. Um, I do really like this rise towards the upside, and I do think the all-time high could be coming in. Right, I do think that, even though I'm short here, I know, but I understand that I'm looking to actually long from down here, and I like the confluence with that weekly VWAP at range low. Look for the long trade. I would really like to see that. And then possibly getting a range break towards the upside, taking that up to all-time high. We'll have to see, of course. But I do like that. Monthly VWAP's just a little bit too far away, I think. But yeah, going back into order flow, right? We have. Let's just see what's happening here. Let's. Yeah, so what I was looking at, right, was we've got a million long trades here. We've got 7.7 million long trades here. We've got 5.8 million long trades there. A lot of long trades coming in here. 13 million in this candle alone, 6.4 million in this candle alone. In this candle, the majority of the long trades are at the high of the candle. Right now, they're kind of just sat at break even. So again, the anticipation was, or is still, sorry, that if we do start to pull back, okay, these longs are going to be underwater. They will have to cover, adding fuel to the fire, pushing that price lower. And then what we come into is we come into even more long trades down here, right? 1.3, 550K, 600K, 80K, 80K, 9.4, a quarter of a million, 50K, 200K, 100K, 180K. There's again, right, a million here, 1 million there, half a million there. There's a lot of long trades down here. So if these long trades start to, become underwater, right? If these long trades here come underwater after these long trades here are already underwater and already have probably covered their positions, then it's going to be like that domino effect, right, or snowball effect, and then these long trades are going to be underwater, right, and they're going to have to cover, and it's just going to keep pushing up price lower, right? That's kind of what I'm anticipating here. So yeah, to be honest, I would have preferred to have seen this happen a little bit quicker, right? I would have preferred to see price pull back a little bit quicker. Liquidating or stopping out all of these long trades that we've got here, forcing them to cover, right, and it just pushes that price lower. Okay, but again, I'm still in this trade. I have the stop loss above the high, so yeah, I'm just going to be patient with this and see how this plays out. Other than the trade that I'm in here, again, I'm just not really interested in any other trades other than a short trade from all-time high. Of course, if we do pull back here, I'm interested in a long trade from here, right? That's a level of interest for me. I'm interested in taking a long off of that. So yeah, and I mean, if we do get a break below this, if we do lose this range low, and we do come lower, maybe I could look for confluence for a long trade at the VWAP. I'm not going to say a price level. We can say $69,000, but I understand that the VWAP is going to continue to probably rise as price remains up here. So VWAP, I could be looking for a long trade somewhere at VWAP, wherever it is, if we do meet that. Because remember, right, this VWAP has just been an amazing level for us, just an absolutely amazing level. So yeah, but there's also that argument that we may not even actually retest this VWAP. Again, we may just go straight to all-time high from there. What type of entry triggers for entering trades? For me, I'm quite an aggressive trader, so there's kind of the super aggressive trader where you either, like, say you have a level towards the upside, you literally short the level. That's like super aggressive. I'm not that type of trader. I'm more of an aggressive trader. So I look for, here I've looked for just like the failed auction, right? That confirmed failed auction. Once I got the close of this candle here, I just entered into the trade there. That's how I kind of do it. And then you obviously have the conservative entry where, you would have formed the failed auction here, and then you're looking for market structure change. So you would want to see possibly this low being taken here, and that's more the conservative entry. And then you're looking for lower prices there. For me, I'm more of an aggressive trader, so not a super aggressive trader, but I consider myself an aggressive trader. So I literally just entered in on the failed auction here. But yeah, like I said, conservative traders, they will wait for a market structure shift, okay, which is kind of what we're seeing here possibly. So we've come up, we're looking very bullish here, right? Okay, we've got higher highs, higher lows, right? And now we've actually broken this, right? We formed a lower low. We're now possibly forming a lower high. And now the expectation is that we come down and form another lower low. And that would be the more conservative short trade entry once you see that market structure shift. But yeah, for me, again, I'm more of like the aggressive type. And it does mean, if you're a bit more of an aggressive trader, it does mean that your risk is a little bit higher, right? I understand that, but for me, it also gives me the best entries as well. And sometimes, conservative traders can actually miss the trade because they're waiting for too much confirmation, and in the end, they literally just miss the trade, right? So I just prefer the more aggressive approach. With like a swing failure or a failed auction, it's normally like the candle close that I'll enter into the trade off of. Sometimes I'll enter into early if I'm confident that we're going to form a failed auction or a swing failure pattern. If I'm confident, I'll enter a little bit more aggressively. But yeah, the only other time I'll kind of enter at a set level is when we have maybe a GP 786 level with absorption and an MPOC. That's kind of where I'm looking at a set level to enter into a trade. And I normally like stagger them. Yes. Yeah, that's very, very true. That is very true. So yeah, Martin just said, I'm thinking that a lot of people are waiting for all-time high, and usually if everyone is waiting for it, we will front run it. Okay, that's kind of like another reason, right, why I've kind of entered into a short here as well. Like, it is a possibility that we front run range high. I am also aware of that because remember here, okay, prices coming up, everybody is expecting all-time high again, but we didn't get that. And what we actually got was a short trade setup that I took, and we got lower prices. Okay, so yeah, 100%. That is, you're very correct in saying that, right? Even here as well, I didn't actually take a short trade from here, but again, everybody's waiting for all-time high, and then we see a pullback. This is the one I actually traded. And I understood, right, that all-time here, right, I understood all-time high is a possibility, but I saw the setup here. It was the most perfect setup that I saw. So I took it, right? I took it. It was a very high probability trade setup in my eyes. Okay, it was at the top of my tier list. So I took the trade. I understood that, yes, we could see all-time high, but I really liked the setup. So I took the setup. And in that instant as well, right, a lot of millions of people would have been waiting for all-time high. Okay, and as price was getting to the top of this candle, I'm sure that many people longed. I don't know if I can go that far back. The 8th of April. I don't think I can go that far back on the web chart. Oh, just about, I think. Just about. Let me just double check. 9 o'clock. This is amazing if it is. Yes, oh, that's perfect. Right, that's perfect. But look how many long trades came in here. Okay, 85 million new long trades came in here. Okay, why was that? Because everybody, like you said, Martin, everybody was anticipating all-time high. Okay, and yeah, this is a very big reason why I entered into the short trade from up here, right? We had, what do we have? 85 million new long trades. I wasn't actually looking at it on the 8 hour. I think I was looking at it on a smaller time frame. We won't be able to go this far back on here, will we? Yes, we will. But yeah, here, you can just see how many long trades are coming in, right? And everybody is just longing because they're anticipating that all-time high. Okay, they're anticipating the all-time high here, so that they're just long. Let's have a look. 7.4 million at the high, 15 million at the high here as well. You got 10 million, 14 million, 10. It's just, yeah, millions and millions of longs at the highs here. Yeah, the POC isn't at the high of the candle, but in terms of where it is within the candle, it is at the top end of the candle. But yes, 16 million at 71,975. Yeah, it's just crazy. 85 million, and all of these long trades just got absolutely destroyed. Absolutely destroyed. Because they were expecting all-time high, because they were waiting for all-time high, right? But yeah, we could see something like that, right? We could see something like that where we get just an absurd amount of longs like that coming in. So what was it, like 89 million or whatever it was? Okay, if I do see that at one of my levels that is an all-time high, okay, because remember, I do have levels that I'm possibly interested in trading at. Let's just get rid of those for a second. So of course we have 72,000, and we also have 72,874. Okay, these two levels that I'm kind of interested in trading, but then I also understand, right, okay, if we come up to these levels, all-time high is probable, really, if you're thinking about it, because we're very, very close. But yeah, this is when I need to go back and just remember about what happened here. Okay, 89 million new long trades came in, and then they got absolutely destroyed. Absolutely destroyed. And I can 100% expect this here as well, right? I could 100% expect this here as well. Of course, I'm not saying that it's going to 100% happen, but if I saw it, I wouldn't be surprised whatsoever. Okay, I wouldn't be surprised whatsoever. But I would have to see what I saw back here, which was 89 million new long trades coming in, and then I want to see a swing failure, a failed auction, showing me, okay, giving me that confirmation and telling me that those are all underwater. If price pulls back a little bit more, they're going to have to cover. They're going to have to add fuel to the fire by selling back into the market and pushing that price a lot lower. Now, back there, we had a weekly. Let's just pull it up. So that was a short from there. We had Yeah, we had a weekly naked point of control at that level. Okay, so that was a very, very, very strong level. That was a very strong level there. Um, Here, we don't have any naked point of controls. We have this one here, of course, but we've tapped this one, so we can actually get rid of this. The next naked point of control that I see is 73,475. Okay, that's the next naked point of control towards the upside. And if we were to tap that, I'm kind of just thinking, right, it's very close to all-time high. It's kind of, yeah, like $500 away from all-time high, really, isn't it? So, less than $500 from all-time high. Yeah, again, I just kind of I would kind of be expecting, I would kind of expect all-time high to be tapped. But again, we could front run it, we could take out the MPOC, and then get the short set up here. And if I saw something that we saw back here, i.e., 89 million new long trades coming in, and then we form a swing failure or a failed auction, right? Then I'm really happy to short that. Really happy, because I know if price starts to pull back, we're going to see those long trades cover. We're going to see those long trades get absolutely destroyed. I'm hoping that it doesn't ruin the stream. I'm hoping it doesn't ruin the stream. But I do want to look at the TPO naked point of controls as well. Just because I would like to see if we had one around $72,000 on the TPO. Where are we opening up here? Right, let's just make sure. Let's just make sure everything loads correctly. It takes a while to load ExoChart's desktop up. Right, let's just have a look at the TPOs quick. Let's just have a quick look at the TPOs, right? I'll bring it on the screen so you can see it as well. So we had one at 72,000, but that was just taken out there. The next one is 73,487. Yeah, which is just lining up with the naked point of control. Let's just. Come on. Keep loading. Keep loading. There we go. There's one. Right, let's full size this. No, we just have nothing. We're just not going to have a monthly, are we? No. Yeah, so there's nothing on the TPOs either. So what TPO is off of time rather than volume. And when you're looking on a TPO, was I looking on the? Oh, I was looking on the wrong one, you muppet. But yeah, we don't even have one here, right? We don't even have one. But yeah, on the TPOs, they can give us slightly different naked point of controls. And they're also really valuable to go off of as well. But yeah, I'm just not seeing it. So I am just going to get rid of this for now. Just because I don't want it to mess the stream up. So we are seeing new longs coming in now. Like I said, right, if we see what we saw back here, i.e., like 89 million, it doesn't have to be that many, okay, but just a large amount of long trades coming in, and we form some sort of swing failure pattern or a failed auction of one of these highs, I could be convinced to enter into a trade a little bit earlier. But yeah, again, my kind of preferred scenario is all-time high, swing failure of that, failed auction of that with the MPOC. There's just a little bit more confluence there. And of course, again, I would like to see something that I saw here, right? I would like to see an absurd amount of long trades opening up. To be honest, I would expect an absurd amount of long trades to open up here anyway, because we're breaking all-time high. I would expect that. But then, of course, we want to see failed auction, SFP. Then we want to see all of those long trades having to cover, adding fuel to the fire because they're selling into the market, right? Pushing that price lower. So that is kind of the plan. I think I'm going to end it here just because I understand I do have things that I need to get on with. So, yeah, I will just end that stream there. Of course, we've talked about the bigger levels that I'm interested in trading, what I want to see at those levels. So right now, yeah, I'm just going to remain patient, right? Just remain patient, see what happens, right? Let's see if we can hit any of these levels. Of course, I'm in a local short trade. If I do continue to trade that range, of course, I'm looking to take a long from range low. But again, my biggest level is the all-time high for a short off of that. And then, of course, if we do look like we're going to front run it, we have an absurd amount of long trades coming in, and then we start to see price pulling back, forming a failed auction, swing failure pattern. I would be very interested in shorting that as well, because exactly like what Martin said, we could front run it like we did back here because everybody is waiting for it, and everybody is not even just waiting for it, but anticipating it as well. So they're just entering into a long trade for no reason whatsoever other than to look for all-time high. Okay, so yeah. Sujan Reddy, good to see you here. Can you once analyze gold? Yeah, I'll probably. I could look at gold. I won't do it today, just because I understand. I need to get going. But yeah, I will analyze it, and then for the stream tomorrow, I'll be happy to look at that as well. So yeah, I can also look at the order flow on that as well. But yeah, I'll have to look at it on the desktop. I don't think we have it on. No, it's not on here, is it? Yeah, so I'll have to look at it on the desktop version. But yeah, anyway, thank you very much for watching, everybody. If you enjoyed, make sure you smash that thumbs up button. And if you are new, of course, subscribe and turn the bell notification on so you never miss another live stream. Thank you very much for watching, everybody, and I will see you in the next live stream. And for any Visionary members, I will see you in the Visionary Discord. Of course, if you want access to that, where I give all of my trades away, all of my analysis away, you get the daily market updates. First link in the description, it will take you over to this page here. Of course, you get my Exo chart templates and the education as well. So yeah, if you want access to that, first link in the description. But anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you later. Enjoy the rest.